I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Come to all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment, and a hotel room. You know what I mean? Yeah. This here, right here, is about to be holy ground. This is gonna be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the greatest. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
We don't give a fuck. You can see it in our faces. Got it out the mud. Straight up out the base.
Continue reading now.
Come. Verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife.
Meaning this is the very same thing, man. The very same thing if a woman does this. It says, thus shall it go also with the wife. Go ahead.
That leaveth her husband.
That what?
That leaveth her husband.
Meaning that leaveth her husband. Meaning this goes for the same thing. Meaning the very same punishment is going to happen if a woman leaves her husband. It was never Israelite culture for a woman to leave the man that she opened her legs up to. If a man has sex with you, if a man blew that back out, whatever the case may be, you cannot leave that brother. If he laid it down right, and y'all were listening to Black Street and KC and JoJo and all that good stuff and that good R&B and listen to that Usher and that Cisco and that R. Kelly and y'all were making love, that's your husband, Aqua. You know what I'm saying? Listen to that Teddy Pendergrass and that Marvin Gaye, let's get it on. That is your husband. It's like that's your husband, Aqua. That's your husband, sis. That is the man that the Lord said you ought to be with because you had sex with him. And guess what? You can't leave him. No matter what the reason is, you cannot leave that brother. Go ahead.
Come. And bringeth in a hire by another.
By a what?
By another.
It says a heir. Say that one more time. An heir.
An heir by another.
It says, and bringeth in an heir by another. Like this is how baby fathers are created. Like this is how baby mamas are created. Like this was never Black, Hispanic, and Native American culture for our men to be baby fathers and our daughters to be baby mothers. Like baby daddies and baby mamas is not Israelite culture. It was never supposed to be of the Lord. But no thanks to the Christian church that say they believe in God, that say they love God, that worship God, that believe in the Most High, that loves Christ, that gives all that thanks to Christ and glory, hallelujah. I praise the Most High and I praise the Christ. This is what happened because of them. Now there's baby daddies running around the neighborhood on child support and in and out of prison because there's warrants for their arrest. No thanks because of Christian church teaching our sisters they can leave their husband and get pregnant and have a child by another man. Now she got two baby daddies. And now she a baby mother. And now the other brother on child support and the other brother might end up on it too. If she left the first, you don't think she's going to leave the second? You don't think she's going to leave the third and the fourth? Why you think there's a sister? Why do you think our sisters and Black, Hispanic, and Native American women right now are 35 to 40 years old right now, man? Right now in their 30s and 40s with 5 and 6 kids by 2 to 3 different baby daddies. You know why? Because the Christian church taught them they can leave the man that they had sex with and get another man and also have children with that man. You know how many sisters be like, give that brother a child. Even though you already got one, you got to give that brother a child. You got to give that man a child. Ain't nothing wrong with giving him a child. You know what I'm saying? Give that man a child. I know you got 2 already by 2 different brothers. Give him a child too. You know, that's a comment. You know, that's happening in the Black community right now. That's happening in the Hispanic community right now. Did you know there are 72% of Black women right now that don't have a man that are giving birth to children? Did you know that? Like, that is a statistic. Did you know that, Kudak? 72% of Black women are giving birth to children without a man. You understand? Without having a man or having a husband with them. Did you know it's literally 66%, so like 53% of Hispanic women having children without a husband there, without a man there, because they end up leaving their man 6 months in the pregnancy saying, I don't want you anymore because you're talking to all these other women. Did you know there's 66% of Native American women giving birth to children without a husband? 66%, not 66, but of giving birth to children without a man or a husband, because they ended up leaving their man because, oh, you talking to that hoe over there. You talking to that over there. You ain't dealing, you not about us. You're supposed to be about us. This is, I'm carrying your child. Listen, listen, a brother can have another sister. You understand? Like, sis, listen, a brother can have another woman. And guess what? Why are you talking all that garbage and leaving him? You probably got the other sister pregnant too at the very same time. That's probably why he's not there, because he got to give y'all both the time. But the Christian church taught you that he's only supposed to give you all the goddamn time selfishly. And guess what, brother? Guess what, brother? You are to give them both the time, and you keep them both because they're both your women. They're both your ribs. They're both your wives. And don't be so goddamn weak to listen to them and allow them to give you the ultimatum. It's either me or her. That's such an evil thing. That's such a goddamn evil thing. Continue reading.
Okay. Verse 22. And Salakia, sir.
Go to verse 23.
Verse 23.
Go ahead.
Verse 23. For first.
So it says for first, because this sister's going to be punished just like that brother that leaves his woman and gets another woman and doesn't take care of both of his wives. This very same punishment is going to happen to this sister, because just like that brother who wants to continue to have sex with whores and buy prostitutes and sell prostitutes. You understand? This is very same punishment. Go ahead.
Come. She have disobeyed the law of the Most High.
She disobeyed the law of the Most High. What's the law of the Most High, Doc? Can you guess? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what the law is. The law is the law of adultery. That's what the brother was going to say. Kodak was going to say adultery. I know he was.
Yeah.
He was going to say adultery. That's the law. The law is adultery. She already committed adultery, because adultery is a woman leaving her man and having sex with another man. That's unlawful, sis. You can't do that. In Matthew chapter 19, verse 9, it says, a man can't leave his woman unless it be for fornication and get another woman. Meaning a man has to keep them both. If he has sex with them both, he can have them both. That's why in Matthew chapter 25, Christ, Yahawashi Mashiach, a black man, one of the greatest black men to walk on the earth and water, said a man was married to 5 women at one time, separately, of course, knowing the law, and his man got 5 wives in Matthew chapter 25. And he used that as a parable for the kingdom of heaven, meaning having 5 wives must be part of the kingdom of heaven. If being married to 5 wives is like the kingdom of heaven, then goddamn, I want it. I want the goddamn kingdom out. God damn it, I don't know if it's I don't know. I mean, Christ sold it to me. That's all he had to say. 5 wives, Salaki. Okay, I'll stop eating pork for 5 wives. I'll stop having sex with whores for 7 women all to myself and no one else. I'll do anything for 5 women. Salakia, I'm Salakia. I'm a brother. I'm not homo. I'm good. I'll do anything for 5 women. And Christ said you go get 5 women. I'm okay, fine. All I gotta do is stop eating pork and stop having seafood boils out and smoking cigarettes. Me, man, get out of here. I'm good. Just give me those 5 sisters. What you waiting for? Listen, that's what Christ said. You understand? Continue reading.
Go, God. And secondly, she have trespassed against her own husband.
She trespassed. The Lord said she have trespassed against her own husband, meaning she trespassed him. She sinned against him by leaving him and having sex with another man. You know how many sisters decide to do this? No thanks to these Christian pastors, and no thanks to these ministers, and no thanks to these deacons and bishops. And you know how evil that is, Quadak? And you know what's really evil? These pastors and these deacons and these ministers teach our women to leave their man if they have another woman. And these very same married pastors and deacons end up having sex with our wives while they have wives. You know, hey, Sister Shirley, you heard about, Eveline. She was having sex with the pastor and the first lady, Marilyn. She ain't really cool with that. You know what's happening? Oh, well, I had sex with the pastor too last week. That's what happens in the Christian church. That's what happens in the Baptist, in the Methodist, in the Pentecostal, the 7 Days Adventist. That's what happens in these Christian churches. That's what happens in these Christian churches. I'm not making it up. Those pastors are knocking down tail. They are knocking down tail. Any good sister with them hips and gyrating and twerking for the Lord in there, talking about I caught the Holy Ghost. No, the hell you didn't. You understand? They taking those sisters down. And guess what? They breaking wedlock. And they're disobeying the Lord. And that very same punishment will go to this sister is also going to go to that same brother that's doing that very same thing. Go ahead.
Con. And thirdly,
it says, like this is the wrath, by the way. It says the third bringeth wrath. That's the first verse we wrote, right? The first thing we read was the first thing that was written right there and that we read in verse, what was it? In verse 16. And it says, and the third will bring wrath. Like this is the third. Like this is what's going to bring wrath. Go ahead.
Con. She have played the whore in adultery.
She have what?
She have played the whore in adultery.
Like this is how she disobeyed the Most High. Like this is how she transgressed. This is how she trespassed against her husband. She played the whore in adultery. She had sex with another man, even though she was married. You cannot go out and blow some other man's rod and let another man hit it and break your back out and you open your legs up to another man just because your man got another woman. That's very common. Did you know the majority of the time women only leave their man because of another woman? Did you know that?
Yeah.
That's what happens in the Black community. Most women leave their man because there's another woman involved. You understand? A woman will stay as long as you leave the other woman and just deal with me. But if you're not going to do that, they leave. Sisters are so whorish now. Sisters become so much of a whore that they say, well, I had sex with him because I thought you was out there having sex. I cheated on you because I thought you were cheating. How much of a whore you got to be, sis, to be like, well, I thought you cheated, so I cheated. The audacity that woman had. I wish a woman would. She said, well, I thought you cheated, so I also cheated. You know what I'm saying? I thought you were cheating, so I decided to go ahead and throw my tail around. Like, this is how evil the Christian church has made our sisters to be. Like, this is how evil these pastors and these bishops and these ministers have made our sisters out to be, man. Continue reading.
Okay. And brought children by another man.
And what?
And brought children by another man.
By another what?
By another man.
Children by another what?
By another man.
More than one baby daddy what?
By another man.
Having more than one brother on child support
by
what?
Another man.
How many baby daddies you got?
By another man.
Like this is how baby daddies are created. This is how baby mamas are created. By what?
by another man.
The only reason why you're a baby mother, because the Christian church taught you, sis, to leave your man and to have sex with another. It said what?
By another man.
The reason why you're a baby mother and you're struggling to survive and you're on those food stamps and you're on that WIC and you're on that government assistance and you still got to work 3 to 4 jobs just to take care of those 5 to 6 kids that you got by 3 to 4 different men is because of what?
By another man.
Because you decided to play the whore in adultery. You decided to leave your man and get another man. When the Lord said to not get another man if you already have a man. Once you have sex, that's your man, Akwa. Once you have sex, that is your husband, sis. You cannot just leave no matter what the reason is. Well, I thought he was cheating, so I left. I didn't want to deal with all that. You know, it was just too much drama. It was just too much drama. I didn't like he was talking to me, and you know, I already saw him with a whole bunch of, you know, sisters on his phone. So I decided to leave, and I put that behind me. I mean, that's the past. Since you got 3 kids in the past, clearly. You got 3 kids in the past, but that's the past. I'm looking at the past. I'm looking at your terrible, terrible choices. You understand? Because of the Christian church, sis, is why you make terrible choices. Because of your pastor, and because of those bishops, and because of Martin Luther King destroying the Black community the way he did, because of integration, is why our sisters have terrible choices. Because of Martin Luther King and Black leaders telling us to integrate and allowed our oppressor to beguile our sisters and trick our sisters into women's liberation and women's rights and making those terrible choices that they did in the 70s. And now we have the terrible end of the stick in 2022 is why you make terrible decisions, sis, and why you make terrible choices, Akwa. And the reason why you're raising kids by yourself and you got 3 different baby daddies and you got 2 of them on child support, you understand, and raising your kids on your own and still working 3 to 4 jobs at Walmart, at Target, at Dunkin' Donuts, at McDonald's, at Burger King, at Wendy's, still trying to put a roof over their heads and making sure they're clothed every night. That's not a lifestyle our sisters were supposed to live. No thanks to the Christian church. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And I feel for you, sis. And I pray that every sister comes into the I.S.U.P.K. You understand that, Quadak? I understand that. I pray that every sister comes into the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge and learn how to be a real woman of God and learn how to not leave your husband again and just stick with one man, even though he might have 4 to 5 wives. But we good men back here. We take care of our women. We teach our women. We guide our women. And sure as hell, we love our women back here. We give them foot baths and we massages and making sure we do it all. We give them flowers. We give them the credit that they deserve and earned. We do that back here. You understand? We're not just going to have sex with you and toss you aside. A brother in the world would do that. And I pray for that very same brother to learn how not to do that and come into the school and learn how to really take care of a sister and learn how that sister is your responsibility. And so is the next, whoever you lay your ride at, man. Continue reading now.
Come. Verse 24. She shall be brought out into the congregation.
She shall be brought out in front of everybody. This shall be known. That's why let me tell you something, right? Every sister is wondering why am I a whore because I have sex with more than one man? Why am I a whore? Why are you not a whore, brother? Because you got 20 women you had sex with. Well, why am I? Well, for some reason I'm a whore because I only had sex with 3 to 4 men. Well, I'm gonna tell you this: it's spiritual. You were never supposed to have sex with more than one brother, especially if that brother is still living and he's right next door. You understand? Like that was never supposed to happen. That was never. Listen, from the beginning of time, that was always a code. A sister was never supposed to have sex with more than one man. Like even in our oppressors community, they had sex with whores. Like they were whoremongers in our oppressors community. They had sex with whores, and even some Edomite women understood that's okay, that's fine, because I can't do whatever I can do, but he's still my husband, and I'm still gonna be a wife to him. Now I'm not saying that's okay for a brother to have sex with whores. I'm not saying it's okay for a brother to have sex with another man's wife, but I'm letting you understand the principle behind a woman not leaving her man and getting another man. Like that was a custom from the beginning of time, that a woman never had sex with more than one man. You understand? What was that old saying, Doc? A master key opens many locks, but a bad lock is opened by many keys. You understand? Like, understand that very concept, sis. It's spiritual, because right here it says what? Start from that top of verse 24 and 24. It says what?
God. She shall be brought out into the congregation.
Because it's going to be known that you're a whore. It's going to be known that you got more than one baby daddy, and you will be looked frowned upon, and your value has diminished because you have more than one child by more than one father, by more than one man. You understand? Like, that's what's going to happen, and that's what will happen. That's why the Lord says she shall be brought out into the congregation, because the congregation will know how much of a whore you are and how much no one should touch you, and you deserve to get put to death, especially back then. Now the Lord is trying to give you a second chance through the I.S.U.P.K, through the Spirit of Christ, through the Most High, to tell you, stop being a whore and stop having sex with all these men. And understand, you can't leave your husband just because he gets another woman. Continue reading out.
Con. And inquisition shall be made of her children.
It said what? Now this is heavy, y'all. We're going to end it right here. It said what?
And inquisition
meaning severe questioning, meaning there's a whole interrogation going on. So like a severe questioning, and inquisition shall be what?
Shall be made of her children.
Because how do we know he's the father? But shall be made of her children.
Inquisition.
And say shall be made of her children.
Shall be made of her children.
Like how we know who the father is. Shall be made.
Shall be made of her children.
Like who's the baby daddy?
Shall be made of her children.
I think it's Jay down the street.
Shall be made of her children.
Well, she was messing around with Tay.
Shall be made of her children.
Well, that sister's known. That sister's known not to know who her baby daddy is. That's why none of them signed the birth certificate.
Come. Shall be made of her children.
Oh, well, I should have known. You know what I'm saying? That every brother damn near hit that on the block.
Shall be made of her children.
Like, this is what happens when a sister decides to be a whore. There's severe questioning. You know why? Because now you don't know who the father is. You know why there's going to be severe questioning out? There's a spirit behind that, and I'm going to teach it to you. I'm going to teach it to you today, Doc. There's a reason why there's severe questioning. Because it's important to know who your father is. It's important to know who that child's daddy is. You understand? We're going to know who that daddy is and who that father is. Because guess what? Whoever that father is, he also going to get put to death out because she committed adultery. You understand? And if that man is not the father, you understand? All right, and that is that father's kid, man. You understand? Like, it's crazy, it's crazy. But if that child most likely is not that father's kid, that man, whoever committed adultery with that sister, will be put to death in the streets. There's a punishment for that. And let me tell you the punishments that's happening today, because our brothers decide to have sex with married women and then end up giving them children too, and sisters leaving their man and getting pregnant by other brothers and having all the type of baby daddies. That's why there's shootings in Norfolk. That's why there's shootings in Portsmouth. You know how many brothers are killing each other over box out. You know how many brothers out there in Norfolk and Portsmouth and Newport News and Hampton and Suffolk and Virginia Beach are killing each other over some woman because a woman left him and decided to have sex with another man and then end up getting pregnant by this man. You know how many brothers are killing each other because of that? That's an evil thing. You know how many sisters are being shot and killed because they decide to leave their man and get another woman? There's no more priests putting you to death, but the Lord is going to send his evil angels and his demons and his spirits to be put on these people to kill you in the street for the evil and the crime you commit by you leaving your woman and getting another woman and not realizing you're supposed to keep them both. And for you leaving your man to get another man when you were never supposed to do that and only keep the husband you first laid down with. There's going to be straight evil that's going to be done in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community because of the crimes we commit. You understand? Let's start building Black families again. Understand a man can have more than one wife, and understand, sister, that a man can only, and understand, sis, that a man can have more than one wife. Understand that. And brother, understand that you can't leave your woman and get another woman and just disregard. I want y'all brothers to understand no more main chick, side chick garbage. Those are just your wives. And sister, you better understand that's his other wife. Understand that, Aqua. And I pray you understand. And with that, I say shalom.
I.S.U.P.K. 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you and your
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the Lord.
Y'all see this?
Counter all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment room and a hotel room. You know what I mean? This here, right here, is about to be holy ground. It's gonna be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grace. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.
Why was it